What's up? What's up? Hold up. Want to see my camera at? Turn my camera around. There you go. What's
There you
up,
go.
kid? We got it
What's up?
together. We got it together. Yeah, I see it.
What's up,
So,
Jay? What's happening?
so listen, man. This your boy OG GIGAVELI with Street Code of Conduct, man. Today I got a special guest on here with me, man. The legendary, Kenny Bo, man. Originally from Ohio, but he out here in Vegas right now. I'm gonna let Kenny Bo give a little bit backdrop on himself, but he also one of my federal brothers. Y'all already know where y'all can get the book, Federal Pressure. Kenny Bo, what's happening, man? Let the people know who you is and where you coming from, and give a little backstory on yourself.
Man, life plus 5 years. I did 15 before I got a pardon from Obama. My channel was indicted to invited. You know what I mean? You know, B put us together, man. B was like my when I first went to Beaumont, man, he was the dude that kind of grabbed me and showed me the ropes. And
What you is that Bloody Blowmont,
bloody
aka
Beaumont.
aka Buddy Blowmont, if y'all don't know, man. But yeah, go ahead, Big B. Definitely put us together. Go ahead, Kenny Bo.
Man, I'm from Cleveland, man. I'm from 93rd and Huff, man. I grew up over there, and I was in college hooping, man, and the hooping didn't work out, and I ended up in the streets. I'm really not a street dude. You know what I'm saying? I was in college, thought I was going to the league and shit like that, and ended up, I had an escort service in Cleveland, and I ended up dibbling dabbling buying coke just for the girls. And one day, the plug saw me with all my girls and wanted to do business with me, the Mexicans from the cartel, Gulf cartel back in the day, and wanted to do business with me. And that's how I got jammed up and caught up with them. And the rest is history, bro. You
Okay,
know what I'm
okay. I
saying?
see that you said you say you were hooping, right? And
Yeah,
a lot of cats start out, you know what I mean? One of my oldest brother, he started out, um in sports and end up leaving your city and going to another city or going to another, like my brother ended up going to Tennessee. So you said you end up getting hurt on the basketball tip or what? That what led you into like
man, it's crazy because I feel like I believe in ancestry curses and shit like that. One day I was in practice, man, and I passed out and woke up in the hospital. I didn't feel no pain or nothing. You know what I mean? They tried to diagnose me as a mild heart attack. So some years went by when I started getting money, by me being from Cleveland. Cleveland Clinic is one of the best hospitals
I
in the world, right?
heard that too.
So I went and that's my neighborhood, like right up the street. I can just walk there. It's like in my backyard, right? So I went and got diagnosed again. They said no way I had a heart attack. But by this time, man, shit, I done been to the state joint for a few months, and I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like it just. So when they took my scholarship, I tried to get them to give me the money so I can walk on, and they wouldn't do it. That's illegal, but they could have did it. You know what I'm saying? So because I was like that, you know what I mean? So it's just
So
unfortunate how. Go
So let
ahead.
me ask you something. I know you mentioned you say you wasn't no street guy, right? But
Yeah,
you end up being in the dope game. And it's funny why you say that. My platform Street Code of Conduct, right? And oftentimes I point out to the fact that there's those of us that chose the streets, and there's those of us that basically born into the streets. You know what I mean by that? Like
yeah,
those
yeah.
young kids that had parents that's on drugs, similar to my
Mhm.
story, you know what I mean? And it just didn't know better, so they didn't do better. It seems like you came from a good family and a good upbringing that you kind of knew better, but you decided to go to the streets, like you say, because you failed in basketball. Do you think guys that, and my question is, do you think guys that chose the streets do better in the streets, or guys that um haven't like really chose their life do better in the streets? If you understand where I'm coming from.
I mean, sometimes, right? Let me tell you, like those real street dudes, those real street dudes. The street mentality can be a minus in the game, right? Those the dudes who don't duck no wreck and you can't owe them $10. They are minus
Right,
to the game.
right, right,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? Because you get in your own way for our street shit. Like a lot of dudes, man, ain't no way you should have a 5 or 6 ops and you in the street, bro. You know
Right,
what I mean? If
right,
you got an op, man, it's usually one. You know what I'm saying? That you beefing with. But when you got a whole bunch of dudes that just beefing with you, it's because you go too, you know, going too hard in the street. I feel like you should be able to think your way through a lot of the issues that come with the streets, right? And I say that saying like, I'm not, if I front you something, man, I'm not gonna front you something that's gonna hurt my operation. If you run
right,
off, I ain't looking for you.
right, right.
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm not gonna kill you about it and all that. I got too much to lose. So that I was
Right.
that's the difference between me and somebody else would be like, man, that motherfucker owe me, man. I ain't gonna find that nigga. And you know, I'm not giving her. He not getting a brick. You know what I mean? He might have got 4.5, and that's it.
You the
You know?
cheap you the cheapest nigga, you the cheapest nigga thus far, right? But hey, you know what? I'm glad you pointed that out, right? Because
Yeah.
I was a street guy, right? And I always noticed my homeboys that really wasn't as aggressive to the code, and they were more player. You know, what I mean, just player had more player
Yeah,
about themselves. They did
yeah,
better than guys that was soldiers like myself that was ready to get out and do whatever. Because you're right, man. Like my brother I was telling you about, he was in school, but he was selling bricks. I had
right.
another brother that went to school, went to the army. He was selling bricks.
It's
Even
a
though I
finesse.
ended up getting up to a block, I ain't never
Yeah,
been on here trying to convey myself, and everybody know me, man. I never tried to say, "Oh, I was a big kingpin out there." When I look at it, like if you wasn't getting it like Big Meech that was getting it, or some of my big homeboys like Big Ike and Convertible Burt, if you ain't
yeah.
supplying half of your city, a whole of your city, you just a low level drug offender.
Right,
You're a low
right.
level drug offender. If you're not getting it straight, like you said, the Mexicans holler at you, cartel holler. If you're not going to buy 100 of them things or whatever, if you like myself that's moving with a little, I consider myself a hustler. I wasn't a
Yeah,
drug. I wasn't a drug dealer. I was a
right,
hustler.
right,
I would
right.
sell you, I would sell you a bag of sand if you came up. You know what I mean? I sell dirt bikes, whatever, anything. I was about a dime. You know what I mean? And I came in this thing pumping gas, bagging groceries, and things like that. But you were 100% correct. I do agree with you, man, that the real street guys is a negative to their game, man. Out in the street, I think guys that really got a little more education, got a little more, playerness about themselves, do better in the streets than the average, gun hole, thug. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm talking about myself. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. But they
So
don't
yeah,
last long. They don't last long, bro. But
nah,
we call it, it's basically you a hothead.
right, right,
So whenever somebody a hothead, is always we usually always put somebody with them that can calm them down.
right,
You
right,
know what
right,
I'm
right.
saying? Hey, you know how
They
he
can
is.
never they the knight, they the bishop, they about possibly be a rook, but they can't be the king. You know
Can't
what
be
I'm
the
saying?
king.
Not
Yeah,
because they not on their own board. They stealing
yeah,
your game. You know what I mean? They're a piece on the
yeah.
board.
Mm,
Trying to get off that a little bit, right? Why I got your attention. Another thing that you had pointed out that that I want to clap. You said you had a life sentence while you was in the feds, right?
yes, sir.
Was you one of those guys that sat back in the feds, and I like to call calendar turners, right? I want to
Nah,
point this out.
no,
Or you
I
were one
already
of those
know where
guys
you're
that were
going.
active in the law library.
Listen all day, bro. Listen, anything about wiretaps and wiretaps and conspiracy, you holler at me, man. You know, anybody going through something and they tap their shit, I know this shit like the back of my hand, bro.
Expert on that subject.
Man, well, listen, because that's what I had. My shit I had about 4 or 5 thousand intercepted conversations on my case. You know
Like,
what I
so
mean?
you had ghost, you had that ghost dope too.
Yeah, They that's the first time I learned about a reverse thing. So
Right.
when they got arrested, they came and set me up. They hit me with the dummy dope.
Damn. For
The
y'all
cash
that don't know it, y'all that don't know what that is, man, that's fake dope. Sometimes there's no dope at all involved,
it's no
and you
dope
could
at
be in a
all. It's
RICO case.
canister. It was just canisters with nothing in it, right? So
Wow.
if I pull up my indictment, you will see that on there with a potential life sentence, and you'll see the regular conspiracy with a potential life sentence. So they came whenever they do a reverse thing and they're using somebody to set you up, they don't never use real dope no more.
Wow.
It
Wow,
ain't
wow.
like
That's I you know what? I'm shaking my head because I met so many brothers while I was in the feds that was dealing with that. There was my first time ever going to the Fed was a total like eye awakening, man. I was one of those guys. I was very active in my case, man. Like I told you, I didn't have a big case. When the time that I went into the feds would indict a sandwich. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? The feds were
And
picking
let
up
me
any
tell
and everything. And I want while we on that, for those 20-something people that I see that's watching us, this brother right here, he got a platform. This brother Kenny Bowman, I got a platform, street code of conduct. But the thing what I want to let y'all know is, man, uh, there's a lot of information between me and this brother right here. It's a lot of information when it comes to the federal system, when it comes to, the streets, when it comes to just, what I mean, just being a black man in America, period, right? So
you.
I really feel like, my advice to those that's watching us right now, tap in, man. If you want a conscious discussion, you want some real topics, you want some real content. I like to consider myself not a content creator. I like to consider myself not a blogger. I like to consider myself a real OG man with real, real just out here in the mix. I'm boots on the ground in Atlanta, in Miami. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let Kenny Bo tell you what he got going on his platform, but we got put together, and I want to give this brother his roses for putting us together. His name is Big B. If you're out of Houston, you probably already know who that brother is, man. Benny Haynes, man. I'm talking about
Mhm.
mentor in my life, man.
Yeah.
Iron shopping iron, man. If you ever
Yeah.
find a brother, and y'all the same age, and he got a little more knowledge than you, man, know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid, you know what I'm saying, to learn. You know what I mean? If you got a brother maybe a little younger than you and got a little more knowledge than you, don't be afraid to learn, man. You know what I mean? At age of almost 50 years old right now, I could say I got a mentor. You know what I mean? And he's been helpful in
Yeah.
my life, man. You know what I mean? And a
Yeah.
lot of us may need some mentors. So Kenny Bo, man, chop it up, man. Let the people know what you got going on over there while we got their
Hey,
attention.
before I do that, I gotta say, man, when I first got arrested, right, I knew nothing about the federal system, right, and like I said, I had only been to the state joint I did a year in the state, and by the time I really got to the joint, I only had about 8 months, about 6 months left, because back in the day, you only do 8.5 months on a year,
Yeah,
right?
year
So
and
I
a
had
day.
about yeah. So I'm in the county, right, and two dudes in the county with me go for sentencing, right? They both had copped to 10 years, right? In the same day, they both come back with life. That's when I said, I had my girl she sent me the sentencing guideline book, the federal code and procedure. I started studying the law in the county before I even went to trial. Cause I didn't know what an 851 was. Like, what the fuck is an 851? So I was
That's
like, what the
that's an
fuck?
enhancement.
Yeah, so I had to fucking and I had an 850, I had an 851. So I'm like, what the fuck? I can get life. But first I wasn't believing them. Then I seen two dudes and I picked them books up. And one of the things that kind of broke my heart when I first got in the system after I got my life sentence. And let me tell you, I'm gonna break this down for you too, right? I got a brother, man. I got my best friend that I call my brother. We call him 53, right? I introduced him to the plug, right?
Right.
Everything 50-50. Like I didn't do him like that. Like I didn't get this shit to be like, oh, here you go, just bring me that. As soon as I got the plug from day one, I brought him in as my partner. You know what I mean? When we all got arrested and got busted and shit, they offered me like 130 something months. And to me, that was a lot of time. Like I ain't never did, I'm got to twiddle my fingers and shit like 130 something months. Like what the fuck? So they
That's how
offered
the
him
Fed
20
handed
years.
out.
Yeah, that they offered him 20 years, and that was his max. So they didn't really offer him a plea, right? So I
Right.
went to trial because I couldn't see myself leaving. I couldn't leave Cleveland with less time than him. It just wouldn't look right. It just wouldn't look right to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a man and just as like you said, I ain't really no hood dude, but that I know what hood ethics is. I just wasn't gonna take less time than him when I introduced him to the plug.
Right.
But after we get to
This,
trial,
this
they
your
had
blood.
more.
This your blood. This your blood brother.
No, this like my best friend. I call him my
Okay.
brother. You know.
All right, all right, all right, all right.
So when we get to trial, I see why, because they had more on him than me from talking on the phone and shit like that. And I didn't really do
Right,
too much talking on the phone. So uh even still, it's a code. Like I just couldn't leave. I couldn't leave with more time than him. It was just you know. And plus, I didn't want to take the 130 something months. To me, I was like, I ain't got caught with no dope. And I'm looking at 14. It was about 14 years. And I'm like, I say I get myself out before that. And I got myself out in 15 years. I filed my own pardon. Every appeal that I filed, in every 2255, I did it myself. You know what I mean? And when I filed that, I found out Obama was doing that, man, shit, I'm non-violent, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no violence before prison or in prison. And
right, right, right.
I fit the criteria.
And how
You
that
know,
work for you? Did you get? I know when I was in there, a lot of people was putting in clemency. I actually put in one and got denied. It took a long process for them to deny me. You know, one thing about being in prison, man, hope is a necessary. You know what I mean? Hope is a necessary.
yeah,
Like without hope, man, you just like you gave up. You dead. So
yeah,
so I could have came out and wrote a books on just my denial forms from the courts. Like I was one of
right,
them cats. And while we at it, you know, the brother mentioned 851, you got 924 C's, you got different enhancements that apply to your sentence. Then he mentioned the sentencing guideline. These are type of things that you know you'll be hearing often on me and this brother platform, dealing with the federal system, man. Something that we're out now, and for those brothers that's in, we're gonna keep advocating that. And for those young brothers that made like was ignorant to the feds like ourselves, we're gonna give you a little heads up before you head down that path. Cause there's a lot of y'all running around with these guns and dealing in this fentanyl game, and y'all what I like to call Fed case riding. You know what I mean? Y'all the
yeah.
Fed case ride. You know what I mean? So I
They
also
talk,
often
talk
say,
throwing rocks.
yeah, but I often tell them though, I often tell them, Kenny Bo, one thing about it, when they turn off them lights, when they lock that cell door, dudes like myself, I wasn't concerned about who out there finna be in a riot or if somebody had a knife. We all had knives. You know what I mean? I wasn't
Yeah,
concerned about my well-being. You know what my biggest fight was? The quietness at night. Hearing those thoughts from my mom or the voice of my or people that was in my life that was trying to give me the heads up before I end up. They say a hard head make a soft ass. When I
yeah,
learned how to ass, I learned how the ass become soft. It wasn't because somebody beat it, because everything you gonna sit on gonna be harder than your ass.
yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah,
ass gonna be soft. It's gonna be soft. You know what I mean? So a hard head do make a soft ass. So that what I tell them, Kenny Bo, is my voice and voice like your voice gonna be the one hunting them because they see they watching us. They
yeah,
watch. They
yeah,
might swipe. They might swipe because we ain't on here rolling a sleeve of money down our hand, prop money, or we ain't sitting on here with the fake jewelry on, or we ain't sitting on here, you know, swallowing a cucumber, or we're not entertaining you. You know what I mean? I tell y'all all the time, man, when you tap into the OG platform, street code of conduct, everything that I talk about is graveyard serious. You know what I'm saying? And penitentiary still hard. I'm not gonna
Hey,
sugarcoat it to you, man.
man, let me tell you something, man. I was 34. They arrested me on Memorial Day weekend. My birthday, June 7th, right? I was about to be 35 on June 7th when they come pick me up on Memorial Day, right? So I did 15 years without an out date. And my biggest worry the whole time was how old I'm gonna be when I get out.
Right.
Man, when I tell
That's a
you start over,
that's a normal feel.
yeah, but I'm just saying, starting over at 50, bruh, it's like,
But
cause
no,
you know,
not just that, bro. You was at bloody Beaumont, man. That's not. Let me tell you something. Let me tell
yeah,
y'all something. For those of y'all that don't understand what the pen is, man. In the pen, man, the value of life is very, very, very cheap. Just to put it like that. Tattoo gun, a bag
hmm,
of a honey bun. Ain't nobody trying to sauce this up for you, because everything's about principle.
right,
Everything's about respect.
Respect. Yeah.
A spot in the TV room, just a misstep in there. You can either be on the wrong side of a murder or the upper side of murder. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The wrong
Mm-hmm.
side of murder is being the one that's being murdered, and the upper side of murder is the one doing the murder. You
Yes,
know what I'm
sir. Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
to make it out of prison, right? To make it out the pen, to make it down to a medium to a low, it's like getting out of some type of freedom. Because the pen, you be on lockdown. It's like when you get ready to go shopping, you shop for preparation.
For preparation, bro.
You shop for preparation.
Yes,
When
sir.
Kodak Black came home talking about 23-1, it was lots of days in the pen, 24 and none.
And none. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I said that to say, man, one of the feels by somebody doing a life sentence or doing a lot of time. I did 16 years myself. I had 262 months. You know what I mean? At a career criminal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I ended up doing 16 months, 16 years off it. Um, that's 21 years, 10 months. So I was blessed to get a sentence reduction based upon the 100-to-1 ratio crack cocaine. Donald Trump signed that bit, the First Step Act in. Uh, all praise due to the Most High. I'll never give nobody credit but him. But
Mm-hmm.
to add on to what Kenny Bo was saying, man, one of his fears was how old he was to get out. One of my fears
Mm-hmm.
was I gonna make it out?
But you're gonna
Was
make
I
it
gonna
out.
have to end up? Was I end up gonna have to end up killing somebody or somebody
Right.
trying to kill? I got stabbed. Now I ain't shared this part with you. I got stabbed 8 times by the Serenos at Manchester. It's in this book, Federal Pressure, right here, for standing up for the brothers on the eight for the weight pile, right? True facts.
Yeah.
Y'all know in my book, no cap, man. No caps in my book, man. All facts could be, you know what I mean? Check, fact check, and old check. People done
Yeah.
time with me, right? And you get stabbed 8 times, Kenny Boo. Know what that mean? That mean you ain't running.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That mean you ain't running. That mean you
Yeah.
cornered
Yes, sir.
or you standing your ground. So I actually
Mm-hmm.
stood my ground. I took the banger back. I put that work too. I ain't just I at the first couple of hits, I didn't even know I was being stabbed. Be honest with you.
Right. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
so I could have when it really dawned on me that I'm fighting with my hand versus they poking me and I got hit back in the neck. I got stabbed 5 times in the chest, 2 times in the back of the neck, and 1 time in the back arm, right? The back arm kind of caught me on the way out. We was on the rec yard and I was running towards, how they already had a baseball field set up and they had the bats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll share this story another time, but I'm just gonna tell you this part of it. When I really thought about it, I'm like, man, I could lose an eye. They would hit me with some ice picks.
Yeah.
And as you can see, the OG got a little size on him. It's Ramadan. I'm a little strength down right now. But
Yeah.
the doctors, when they airlifted me, they actually gave my helicopter away several times because when the word got back to the compound that they had stabbed Miami, which was my name in the feds, based upon geographic. You know what I mean? Guys don't be trying to learn your government name. They rather call you
Right.
where you're from. But when the word hit the compound that they stabbed Miami, it went up in all the units, man. I'm talking about it blowed up. The Mexicans got attacked and things it got real wild, right? But when the doctor got to me when I got the Lexington medical in Kentucky at Lexington, Kentucky, he said my chest wasn't that developed because they punctured my lungs. He said that
Right.
they probably could have got to some of my organs worse. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But by me
Yeah.
being from the weight pile, I had a developed chest. So I
Right.
just
Right.
wanted to share that. I just wanted to share that part with you, man. I feel you. I feel you on that about the age. Cause often thought about how old I was, but we here, man. And one thing about it, you looking great at your age right now, because you know that the chain game preserved us, man. We was on
Oh yeah.
ice,
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Prayer, meditation, exercise, and proper diet is the key to doing time.
right? That's a
Prayer,
balance,
meditation, prayer, meditation, exercise, and proper diet. Man, don't be in there eating all them motherfucking soups and shit. Don't be in there drinking those fucking them Kool-Aids and shit with all that aspartame and saccharin and shit in it. You know, hey,
I'm
hey, man, I
hooked.
ain't gonna lie to
I
you.
can't help. I can't help it,
Every
man.
night,
I'm hooked.
every
I'm
night,
hooked.
look, I had one the other day, man. Every now and then, I gotta reach back to my roots, man.
I'm hooked. I don't know, man. I think that's the new. I think that's the crack cocaine of the system, man. Hey, hey, hey! Shout out to my cup suit community, man. That's my brother still on
Yeah,
lockdown,
man.
man. Some nights,
Yeah,
man, they pushing that pork on you. The OG didn't eat beef or pork. They pushing that
yeah.
meat on you, man. And some nights, man, it
Mystery
wasn't nothing
meat.
but a
Hey,
mackerel in a soup.
tell them what we call it. Tell them what we call it. Mystery meat.
The mystery meat, man. You know what I mean? So sometimes the OG man, a mackerel in a soup, man. I'm going about my way, man. Some
Going
peanuts, and
about the word. Yeah,
yeah, you know
yeah.
what I mean? But hey, man, we've been over here over 30 minutes, man. I appreciate your time. We gotta do this more often, Kenny Bo, man. You know what I mean? I think that we got a lot of things to offer the youth, man. May God bless your platform as He blessing mine, man. The Most High definitely, He been in our life, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Him, man. Regardless to what we did in the law library, regardless to who signed our bills, or know what I
Yeah.
mean, they were just instruments that He used, man. All praise due to the Most High, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate Big
Always,
B.
all the time. Yeah.
Appreciate Big B once again. Benny Haynes, man, my
What
mentor,
up,
man,
B?
for
What up,
plugging,
B?
plugging for plugging the real in, man. Know what I'm saying? He probably won't get to see this. He's so busy, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, hey, thanks for everybody that tuned in. What's his channel? He said, well, they want to know what's your channel. Wesley,
My
want to know.
channel's indicted to invited.
And my channel is OG GIGAVELI Street Code of Conduct, man. Hey, thanks for tapping in. Make sure y'all go check some of my other videos out, man. Make sure y'all check my brother Kenny Bo's situation out, man. Let's start supporting things that's helping our culture, man. There's a lot going on. I got a lot of stuff lined up for the few episodes coming up. I got a lot of things. So y'all want to keep it locked with the OG. Kenny Bo, any last words you want to let the people know before we out of here?
Hey, man, stay free, bro, because it's for suckers. That whole system is for suckers, bro. It's a trick bag. It's a trick bag. Once they get their hands on you, man, you'll realize that you've been tricked. So stay free, man. Indicted to
Stay
invited
free
is my term.
and
Indicted to
stay
invited.
suck and stay sucker free. That's what he wanted to say too
Sucker
at the
free.
end. All right, man. It's been real, man.
All right,
Y'all
man.
have a blessed
Hey,
day, man.
I'm gonna holler at you in a minute, man. I gotta get ready for work. I see.
Same here, bro.
All right.